No trip to Bloomington is complete without some great food. And what better way to satisfy a sweet tooth than with some ice cream? And that's why we're at the Chocolate Moose.
My name is Jordan Davis. I'm the general manager. I kind of oversee our operations here at our downtown Bloomington store, our Nashville store, as well as all the events and wholesale that we do. We started in 1933 as May's Cafe. It was a restaurant. They started to make their own frozen custard and realized that that was where they were making their money, and they could just do that a lot easier. So in 1955, Doran May, whose dad EJ, he built the stand in the parking lot, named it the Penguin, and just took off from there. Doran had a manager who he allowed to kind of franchised out, and he opened a few Penguins actually. The guy was just ruining the brand and running the place really into the ground. So Doran bought it back from him because he didn't want to see everything he had put his blood, sweat, and tears into, just turn into a failure. And whenever he purchased back the company, the guy tried being like, oh, well, you have to pay me for the name of the Penguin too. And Doran just said, I'll just call it something else. They were brainstorming after the whole Penguin debacle. Somebody had said to name the Chocolate Moose. And they go, you know what? I like that. Let's go with it. It's definitely helped us because it gives us a lot of opportunities with branding and everything, because who doesn't love a little cartoon moose licking its lips? We had to move into the new location because the landowner, Doran May, he had decided that it was time to move on, and he was getting up there in years and just sold the property, and the developers decided it would be best used in the capacity that is now, so we just had to kind of go with it and make the best out of it, but it's really worked out. When it comes to the ice cream though, it's the same. It's still made in Bloomington. It's still 14% butterfat. It's the same, quality product we're serving in the stand and before that, so nothing's changed with the ice cream. So we have about 20 regular ice creams that we make. Those are all the 14% butterfat, homemade ice cream, like hard pack that we're known for. We also make 6 vegan varieties though. Those are all made with coconut milk. The community's really taken a liking to those, and it's not just vegan people, it's just those that are lactose intolerant, or people that are like the idea of, oh yeah, strawberry with coconut milk, that sounds, pretty good, and it is. As soon as I started working at the Chocolate Moose, because I actually didn't know what Dole Whip was before I did, because we don't really blow it up and advertise it like everything else that we do. It's just this dairy-free, fruit-flavored soft serve that originated in Disney World. I think we're the only people in Southern Indiana that serve it, and they have like 4 different flavors, but we decided to just stick to pineapple. We do a lot of things at the Chocolate Moose besides just ice cream. We've always been known for our Spanish burgers since the 50s. We just recently added like a turkey pesto sandwich, a chicken salad croissant, our breakfast sandwiches, as I mentioned earlier. Now we have a full coffee menu with like chai lattes, flat whites, Americanos, lattes, frappes, you name it. We work with local roasters, Brown County Coffee, so we have a really good local product that we're serving. There's quite a bit you can get besides ice cream with the Chocolate Moose.
So I'm sitting down here with Jordan here at the Chocolate Moose. Now Jordan, what do we have here in front of us?
So we have a ham, egg, and cheese croissant, which is something we just started doing recently. And then we have a 24-ounce caramel frappe, which is also another thing we started to do when we started to open at 7 a.m. So we have a lot of really good coffee options and breakfast options, but I thought you might enjoy this combo as much as I do.
Yeah, this is a really good breakfast, something to get at breakfast, to wake you up, get a coffee, and for your stomach before class or before work, get a nice breakfast sandwich here. So what's in this sandwich here?
Yeah, so we use butcher's block ham. We like to make sure it's just top-notch quality. We don't want to just go grab some random ham, and throw it on a sandwich and be like, yeah, it's really good, And then just an egg patty, and it looks like they went with the cheddar cheese for you.
Hold that up for the camera and open it a little bit. I'm going for a bite here.
I'm jealous for you right now.
This is really good. The ham is the star of this sandwich. Very fresh, very tender. It's not very chewy like a lot of hams out there. Kind of just melts in your mouth a little bit. The same with the cheese. It's nice and gooey, nice and warm, melted. And then the croissant, very flaky. And it just kind of melts in your mouth. Very
awesome.
good.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm glad you enjoy it. So this one you can do with a cream or a coffee base, and we just loaded it up with some caramel as well. And I'll stop talking and let you enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think this is, since we have IU Bloomington here, this will be very popular with the college kids. Let's try it. Better than Starbucks. Better than Starbucks. The caramel shines here. Nice and creamy. Kind of tastes just like coffee ice cream. I don't know, but it's a frappe. It's very good. Enjoy it.
Sweet. Yeah, glad you like it, man.
Yeah. So we're back and we have ice cream now, the bread and butter of the chocolate mousse. Now Jordan, what flavors do we have here?
So I have 2 cups of ice cream here. Over here we have our vegan ice cream. We have vegan grasshoppers and vegan chocolate. They're both coconut milk based. Wanted to give you an opportunity to try those because there's plenty of people that aren't even vegan or lactose intolerant that still order the vegan ice cream just because they like how it tastes.
Yeah.
And then over here we have the full diesel 14% butter fat. I did 3 different flavors. On top here we have our apple butter, which is a seasonal flavor right now. We have a donut ice cream where we work locally with Crescent Donut, which you know Bloomington, you know Crescent Donut. And then we have our Lucky Guy mint brownie. We really like to work with other local companies and just help each other thrive. So I figured instead of bringing out here Grasshopper or Brown County Coffee or some of our most popular staples, I'd give you some of our kind of out there seasonals to try because a lot of people don't know we have them.
So this is, what's in this? Oreo and is that
mint
it?
Oreo.
Mint and Oreo, okay.
It's mint Oreo, so it's, in my opinion, way better than mint chocolate chip.
All right, so I'm gonna give this one a try. It's really refreshing, the mint. Well, first of all, you get the coconut. That's the first thing that I tasted. Then the mint. And lastly, the chocolate from the Oreo. And finally, the cream. The creamy bits from the Oreos. It all comes together nicely. Very refreshing because of the mint. But also it's nice and sweet from the Oreo filling and the cookie. All right, so this is a vegan chocolate, correct?
Yeah,
All right, this has a very nice color, very nice brown color to it. Let's take a look at this one. I'm not getting much of the coconut, but a lot of the chocolate. It's very chocolatey, and the coconut has that, it's kind of like an undertone, which complements the chocolate quite nicely, I have to say.
Yeah, I feel like chocolate and nuts kind of have always gone together. And with the vegan chocolate, it's nice because chocolate is just such a rich flavor.
It is.
And it comes out in all of our ice creams as being more of a milk chocolate, but we start with the dark chocolate. And once you add it to the cream or the coconut milk, it kind of dials it back. But it really helps kind of cover up the coconut taste if you don't like a heavy coconut taste. But I'm glad that you realize the compliment of it.
Yeah. The coconut comes out at the very end. It kind of reminds me of like an Almond Joy, like chocolate bar, which I love those. So I really like this. I really like this chocolate ice cream here.
Awesome.
All right, so let's move on to the 14% butter fat.
Oh yeah, 14% butter fat. So your typical soft serve ice cream is like a 5%. So it's almost 3 times as creamy, more or less,
Nice.
than your regular run-of-the-mill, out-of-the-machine ice cream. But yeah, it's been made here in Bloomington for a very long time. It all comes out of one machine. And yeah, so that top one is that apple butter. We run seasonally in the fall along with pumpkin, which of course everybody goes crazy for pumpkin. So, and a lot of people know we have that. So I figured I'll bring out the more obscure one.
Yeah, the apple one, that one comes out about October time, September, when?
Yeah, right around, I'd say right near the end of September, early October.
Okay. And they can get it up until after Halloween,
Until supplies last.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you better hurry and come get this if you're all about this flavor.
But we use real apple butter. Nothing fake about it. It's just ice cream with apple butter and 2 good things put together. We figured we would make another good thing.
All right. So let me just go ahead and try it. I'm getting some spices. I think is the cinnamon.
Yeah.
The butter is very prevalent. The apple is very subtle.
Yeah.
And the spices really shine. It kind of just reminds you of like fall, kind of like a fall pie, like the spices of a pumpkin pie, but with apple there. Not very much apple pie, but like a pie, which is very good because I love pie. Very creamy as well. So let's move on to this lighter colored one. What was this one again?
Yeah, so that's our crescent donut one. So we use the yeast crescent donut holes, which we also sell in the morning here. And we use those just to make this donut ice cream, which when I was told like, hey dude, like we made some donut ice cream, I'm like, that's a terrible idea. I'm like, no, like, I love baked goods more than anybody you'll ever meet, including donuts. But I was just like, come on, like everything that's good about a donut is that like texture and the fluffiness, and you lose all that in ice cream. And then I had it, and my
pleasantly
my
surprised.
opinion changed. So I'll be interested. A lot of people are really surprised just how much like a donut it tastes.
Okay. All right. So let me
Hopefully I didn't
dig in.
oversell it there.
You're right. The first thing is just the glazing.
Yep.
And then it's kind of like the texture is kind of like the inside of a donut. I don't know if that's weird to say. It's just kind of like very soft and melts in your mouth like a good donut would.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, your reaction to that was priceless. It really throws you off.
And it's even better that you collaborate with local businesses like Crescent Donuts. That's great. And lastly, which one's this one?
Yeah, so Lucky Guy is a local company that makes brownies. They have a wide variety. Some of them are gluten-free, vegan. This one we just use their regular mint brownie. And so it's very similar to Grasshopper, but very different at the same time, where Grasshopper is the mint Oreo. This is a vanilla base with a mint brownie. So the mint part isn't the ice cream, it's the brownie bits itself.
Okay.
Which creates kind of a pretty different experience, but people have been going crazy for it. We were gonna just run it as a short seasonal, and we've had it now for maybe like 4 months, and it doesn't show any signs of stopping. So that, that will probably become a
the next staple of the on the menu.
Who knows? Yeah.
Cool. See the bits of brownies sticking out? The first thing I get is the chocolate and the mint together. Kind of different from the vegan one where the mint was more, like the most prevalent. But this is just a nice duo of the chocolate and the mint.
Yeah.
And again, very creamy, as you'd expect.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
I liked all of them. My favorite, I think, would have to be maybe the donut.
I saw you the donut. And I was like, man, your reaction to it was priceless. So glad.
Yeah, it's crazy how much it tastes like a donut.
I think it all starts with just having a quality product. If you don't have a quality product, you're not gonna go back to a place. And I think the chocolate mousse it's been its longevity, it's the nostalgia to it and just what it means to people that they went to here as a kid and, got this from the penguin or got this from the chocolate mousse, depending on how old they are, and their kids get to come in and experience the same thing. We do a lot of weddings where couples are just like, hey, we both went to IU, we're alumnus, we'd love to have you come to our wedding. So we're kind of taking over cakes in that department. People love food trucks and we've kind of just became the gatherer of them. It all started maybe 4 or 5 years ago now, where the owner and myself were like, what if we got a couple food trucks to just come set up in the parking lot, during lunch while, it's kind of slow, and maybe that'll drive us some business. Because again, people generally get ice cream in the evening. What day of the week should we do it? We're like, well, Friday, because, it's just Food Truck Friday. It just makes sense. We obviously couldn't hold it in our parking lot once we tore down the stand. That was the best environment. We'll never be able to recreate that. But right now we're down at the Herald Times and it's great. So as far as other than just this downtown location, we have a store in the Indiana Memorial Union. We have our Nashville, Indiana store, which we just call Chocolate Mousse Brown County. And it has a drive-through, which we're one of only 2 in town besides McDonald's. So it's pretty unique. It used to be a KFC, but we think we've transformed it to where it really fits the Brown County vibe. It's kind of woodsy. We saw our prepackaged pints in Lucky's Market, Fresh Time. Blooming Foods, of course, being, the local co-op that's been around for so long. They sell our ice cream as well. Shortstop, Upland, Big Woods uses our ice cream, Uptown Cafe. So a lot of the really great restaurants in town too use our ice cream on their desserts, and we're all about working with other local places and just for the betterment of the community and keeping dollars made in Bloomington spent in Bloomington. We like to think that if you think of Bloomington and your IU experience or just your experience coming to Bloomington or living in Bloomington, that chocolate mousse is, one of the first memories you have. Just because, everybody has a favorite ice cream shop, and when it comes to Bloomington, that's us, or we like to think so.